we bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario. Tonight, we've got some spicy hot takes for the NBA, but first, we kick things off with the kings of UAAP football.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Now, after nearly a decade, the UAP men's football crown is back in Moraita. Now, joining us tonight are the champs themselves. Rookie of the Year, Carl Absalon, Jet Fabregas, and Jeremy Darapan. Welcome to the game, the FEU men's football team. Congratulations on the championship.
Congrats, guys.
Even though tinalo nyo yung Lasal ko.
Okay lang yan, pa. Okay lang.
On the way to the championship, grabe. Again, part of the very, very good treble here for FEU. Champions of women, champions of men's, and champions of juniors. Once again, congratulations to you and the entire program. Jeremy, I want to start with you first kasi first championship mo, two already sa juniors level in your high school days. Pero you only played one game kasi na-injure ka sa first game against UST. Una-una, how did it feel to see yung mga teammates mo come away with the championship and a lot of the goals were dedicated to you rin. Nakita ko yung mga ibang dedication, dedicated to you mga ibang goal.
Well, to be honest, medyo may parang separation yung mixed feeling, somewhat mixed feeling. Kasi nanalo kami pero hindi ako nakalaro. Pero yun nga, still proud of the team kasi every step, at least binigay na nila yung best nila and pinakita nila na kahit wala ko, dinedicate nila yung game, each game for Kit and para sa akin. So, saya pa rin ako.
Well, of course, what a season for you guys. Ikaw naman, Jet, you're the goalkeeper for this team. And in terms of, being a champion, 8-year title drought, first time again in 8 years. Jet, what was the feeling, emotions, once you guys won that championship right away here this season?
First of all po is very masaya po kasi in almost 8 years po, or sabihin sa pandemic po, sa pandemic player po, mahirap po mag-cope up sa mga seniors namin na experience po, like kay Jeremy po. So, doon po yung excitement namin sa paglalaro din. Masaya po kasi nakuha namin yung championship po as a team.
Alam mo, sabi nila that keepers have to be crazy. A different breed yung mga goalkeepers. And ito, you're coming into a situation wherein, okay, you're trying to catch up to sa mga veterans mo. How did they help you? So confidence level-wise, to make sure na okay ka buong season.
They always push me po sa sa limits ko na kailangan ko pong magawa to help the team po. So, lahat naman po ng seniors is pinupush ako yung sa confidence ko to be better po.
And of course, kanina mention nga ni Jeremy that the goals and the games are dedicated to you and of course yung kapatid mo and si Keith, and obviously a lot of people do know the story that he has sadly passed away and was not able to be part of yung triumph yung ngayon. Pero ano yung feeling knowing that, first of all, Rookie of the Year ka, congratulations on that. But ano yung feeling na every game that you went out, dala niya yung jersey niya sa starting lineup, and of course, how did it feel knowing that, okay, nag-champion ka, first time try?
Sa akin po, sobrang saya ko po kasi nakuha po namin yung champion, then rookie pa lang po ako, tapos dedicated po talaga namin kay Kuya yung champion. Tapos yung preparation po namin, grabe. Grabe po yung experience.
And of course, you come from a football family then, of course, as Pao mentioned, you have a sister also playing for UST. Kamusta naman yun? You're all a football family. You guys celebrated this, of course. How was that at home?
Sa totoo lang po si Kuya Kit po talaga yung first na naglaro sa amin ng football bago po kami. Kasi siya yung una na tumakas pa sa para lang po maglaro ng football. Then yun po, yung pumasok na po siya sa FEU, like ako po, gusto po siya kalabanin. Pero pinatry out po ako ng papa ko doon, tapos tinulungan naman po ako makapasok ni Kuya. Hanggang sa naging teammate po kami for 1 year sa UAP.
And of course, again, for those who've seen FEU lineup right before each and every match, dala nila ng jersey ng Kuya Kit mo. And of course, very emotional yung season na to for very many reasons. And again, Jeremy, I know you weren't part of most of the games, pero behind the scenes, how did you help keep everything together? Kasi again, you could go left and right kapag emotions yung pinag-uusapan pero how did you keep everyone focused?
So mostly galing sa like yung background, like rookie. most of us are rookies, 4 lang yung seniors na natira. So, super hirap i-explain sa kanila na yung UAP sobrang tagal na season. So, you have to be strong mentally and physically. Sobrang laking factor nun. So, during ng mga first game namin, ang ganda ng performance. Pero at some point, patapos ng season, second round especially, medyo nag-drop kami. Natalo, ganyan sunod-sunod. So, naka-affect sa kanila. So, as a senior, gusto ko yung ma-keep nila, ma-push nila yung sarili and ma-overcome nila yung situation na meron kami na kahit draw, loss yung nakuha namin, mabaliktad namin. So, yun ang constant reminder lang sa mga rookies namin na kaya to, yung situation na to, kailangan malampasan. Like, it's normal, it's natural. Kailangan lang talaga namin mag-dig deep and gawin yung best every game dahil kailangan namin i-dedicate and makuha yung championship for Kit.
And grabe din yung development mo, no? As being one of the young guys the past season, then the next season, one of the leaders right away for this team. And ikaw naman, Jet, of course, the challenges all throughout the season. It wasn't an easy road going to the championship. You guys finished 3rd in the elimination round. You had to defeat Paus Lasal and then defeat Ateneo in the finals. Ano yung mga naging challenges nyo as a team na hindi nakikita ng fans yun na pinagdaanan nyo to overcome and win this championship?
Yung mga challenges po as a team is yung mga during trainings, yung iba pong mga players is na-injury po. So, nahihirapan din po mag-adjust yung mga ibang players sa team na maglalaro po for us. Tapos, yung mga individual battles po namin, like yung mga about sa confidence po, how we play in the pitch po, yun po.
And how did you address that? Especially confidence as an athlete, medyo naiintindihan ko yun. A long season, medyo kailangan you have to ride the wave sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes po. Dun po sa question ko is about mental po. Mental strength po yung kailangan po talaga as a player po, as a team din po. So dun po papasok yung mga pressure po. So kailangan po na malagpasan po namin yun po as a team din.
And of course, Carl, you talk about yung Rookie of the Year campaign mo. And I know everyone's talking about that, okay, UAP, it's a different beast. Iba yung experience, iba yung pressure nun. Parang ikaw parang hindi ka na-pressure. Bakit?
Hindi naman po. Hindi ko rin po nga expect na ako po yung magiging Rookie of the Year po eh. Kasi halos lahat naman po kami rookie. Tapos binigay naman po namin yung best namin na para makapasok sa finals at makuha yung champion. Pero unexpected po ako rin po yung naging Rookie of the Year.
And of course, with that Rookie of the Year campaign in the bag right now, ano yung reaction ng pamilya mo when you won the individual award? When nag-champion kayo? Tapos, syempre, hawak-hawak mo yung jersey ng kapatid mo sa mga pictures nakita namin kanina. So, ano yung reaction ng pamilya niyo when that final whistle finally?
Sobrang saya po. Kahit di po sila nanood, nasa province po sila, sobrang saya daw po nila. Then, nag-celebrate din po sila after ng laro namin. Like, nag-dinner sila ng family ko po kasi yun nga po, nakuha ko po yung Rookie of the Year, champion. Then, para po talaga kay Kuya yung champion na yun. Sobrang saya po nila po.
The beauty of sports right there. And of course, Jeremy, lastly, kayo ni Carl actually nanggaling kayo sa juniors program ng FEU and now you're in the seniors team. The women's won it and what a program this FEU football
FEU's
team.
terrifying.
Yeah, right? As Lasal knows, that's for sure. But Jeremy, what makes FEU a great program in terms of football? Ano yung mga, how's your culture like?
Well, at first, hindi maganda yung culture. Medyo dahil mga players, iba-iba yung personality, especially mga galing sa province. Pero yung maganda lang siguro sa culture namin is in-embody namin yung word na sama-sama. I mean, well, before be brave, pero in-embody namin yung sama-sama na kahit saan lugar pa sila, ganyan, regardless sa identity, ginagawa namin sa family, walang left out, walang mag-isa lang, ganyan. So, kung homesick or parang mahiyain, tinatry namin iisama sa family talaga. Tapos i-push namin sila sa mga limits nila sa school na yan in terms of training. Ganun.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Absalo, Jet Fabregas, and Jeremy Darapan of the FEU Tamaraws men's football team. Congratulations on the championship. Who knows, this could be the start of a dynasty.
Of course. Congrats once
kung
again.
maging start ng
Congrats,
dynasty
guys.
ito. But guys, again, congratulations. We can't wait to see you again soon.
Thank you for the time, guys. And after the break, we'll take a look at the big-time Boston win in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. welcome back. You're watching The Game. The Boston Celtics are one game away from equalizing the series with the Miami Heat. Let's take a look at the unexpected outcome of Game 5 with the returning Mr. Hot Takes himself.
He's back!
Coach Jello Vito. And that's something new. Coach Jello Vito, because I think we can announce it on the show.
Yes,
that
I think
Jello
pwede na.
Vito is now a strength and conditioning coach for the De La Salle Green
Yes,
Archers.
sir.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
Of course, let's talk about the Miami Heat versus Boston Celtics. Game 5, it's now a 3-2 series. Still Miami, still leading,
Yep.
pero I kind of feel the pressure coming from the Boston Celtics. How did the Boston Celtics do that here in Game 5?
You know, in Game 5, the Boston Celtics really started well. Baga, they took advantage of Miami Heat starting flat. You see Jason Tatum hitting those threes, attacking right away early into the game, and which already nag-balloon yung lead kagad. They already in the first quarter they scored like, I think 36 or 37 points in that first quarter only, and Miami only scoring 20. And from then on, hindi na nakabalik itong si Miami Heat all throughout the game.
Yeah, you take a look at the fact that itong si Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I guess we can expect them to have 20-plus point games. But then it was more democratic scoring-wise, especially with a guy named Derek White. My goodness, Derek White and Marcus Smart in particular, both of them finally hit the bottom of the net, something that the Boston Celtics needed.
You know, yun nga, kailangan ng Boston yung guy that would step up next to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I mean, Derek White, you wouldn't expect him to put up those kinds of numbers. Marcus Smart, pwede pa, but the thing is, you know Marcus Smart is a stability guy, a glue guy na would do both things offensively and defensively. And very surprising na sila yung magiging next two guys after Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Well, we talked about this, on the show last night that, if the Boston Celtics keep on hitting the threes because Miami's daring them to shoot the threes and they're making it right now, do you think this momentum is finally gonna catch up and maybe Boston, might take the next game and get the momentum? Game 7, pressure is on the Heat now. What do you think?
I really think that with the way they started playing right now, I think kaya pa atang umabot hanggang dulo to with Boston playing really well right now. And we'll see if Miami have good production from the usuals like Jimmy Butler and all those guys. Baka mahirapan na si Boston and knowing na babalik sila sa home court ng Miami. So it's gonna be medyo iffy pa ako, hindi ko pa talaga masabi, but we'll see.
Medyo iffy.
No hot takes yet.
Not yet. Yan sasabihin ko sana. But then, we'll take a look at the numbers, of course, of Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson, who both, rather, Jimmy Butler relatively struggled here. Jimmy Butler had 14, 5, and 5. And, again, for some players that might be good, but Jimmy Butler needs to be a bit better than that. The hustle stats, though. That's what's interesting. Miami had 16 turnovers compared to Boston's 9, and second chance points, 17 went to Boston, while Miami only had 7. And that says a lot, effort-wise and activity-wise.
I really think that fatigue is already setting in for
as a strength and
for
conditioning
Miami.
coach,
They went on a very, very hard-fought battle nung second round nila. And knowing Boston, another hard-nosed team, and syempre, it took a toll to their bodies yung 3-0 na start ng Miami. And I think it's up to them to push through if you're Miami, if kailangan nilang ilaban para tapusin nila itong series ito.
Well, when you talk about the Miami Heat, usually they get their fuel from their defense. And if they're not getting those stops, if Boston keeps hitting those threes, what should Miami do now to, close out this one in Game 6?
They have to improve on una-una yung production ng bench nila. Guys like Caleb Martin, Strauss, they need those yung kahit quality production lang. And for me, I want Kyle Lowry to start leading that team. Kasi
he should.
As he should, diba? He's a veteran point guard for Miami. He's been there a lot of times. He's a champion. He's a champion, but right now in this series, medyo nakukulangan pa tayo sa production niya in terms of being a leader and being a point guard for Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, if you're a Boston Celtics fan, you're going to be like, please keep this going. But adjustments will be made in the next game. What do you feel Boston need to do to avoid any pitfalls in Game 6?
First of all, huwag nilang gagalitin si Jimmy Butler. You know how Jimmy Butler goes. Kumbaga, for Boston, wala munang sisenyas ng ganyan.
Yeah.
Let them play. If you're Boston, just play the game, stick to the system, and who knows, baka mag-game 7 pa to.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to be done with Jello Vito because we miss him a lot. After the break, we'll let Jello Vito do what he does best, and that is to give us some spicy takes on the rest of the NBA season. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. Now, the buzz about the NBA Finals has not stopped, so why should we? Of course, it won't be a Jello Vito guesting if we didn't have him chuck out some hot takes. So, what a Mr. Hot Takes? We're gonna find out. What do you have for the Eastern Conference Finals? Kasi hindi pa tapos.
Yes.
Hindi pa
Spicy
tapos.
beats.
Oh
You
my
like that? Or no?
goodness.
Still Mr. Hot Takes.
Mr. Hot Takes.
No.
Mr. Hot Takes.
Why are you trying to change things? Don't change things that work. All right, so first of all, the question is, Boston-Miami, will it extend to a Game 7? Jello.
It will
Oh, okay.
go to a Game 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bakit?
Based on the losses nito ni Miami, I've seen a trend parang ang baba ng production nila Jimmy Butler, nila, Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, wala pa si Tyler Hero. So, I really think that this is the perfect time for Boston to take advantage of that. Kasi, again, the level of play ngayon ng Miami is kind of dipping down. Nafe-feel ko na magdi-dip down. But, again, knowing Miami and knowing Coach Eric Spoelstra, baka mailusot pa.
Wow,
Grabe.
Game 7.
Game
From
7.
3-0, so 3 straight from the Heat, then 3 straight from the Celtics.
So can I just, I want to emphasize this first, that sa script namin, we don't have the answers. I don't
Yeah,
have the
I don't
answers
have
at least of Jello
Genuine
Vito.
reactions right
So
here.
we'll see. So he says it's going to be a Game 7.
All right,
Oh
so
my goodness.
Gels, I don't think this is going to be a hot take, but it's about the Heat, so it can be a hot take. Why are the Heat losing by such a big margin, Gels?
Again, when things are going tough for Boston, dyan nagsistep up talaga maganda sila. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Again, Derrick White, hindi nga natin expect Derrick White would put up those numbers.
Right.
And I really think na if they stay consistent with that kind of play, when they start hitting those shots, when they stay aggressive on defense, and maging leader ulit si Marcus Smart and si Al Horford, I really think na aabot talaga to ng Game 7.
All right. So with that in mind, okay, there is a question, and that is this the start of a Boston comeback na at the end of the day mananalo sila in 7 games according to you? Or is Miami finally going to put this away? This is in 7 games pa rin. In other words, who will win the series?
For me, I think even though Boston is playing well right now, I think Miami will take it.
So still no team in history will come back from a
After.
3-0 deficit, and that's from Mr. Hot Takes himself. But
I don't know how hot that take is now that I think about it.
right. I
Oh.
think the Celtics one is a hotter take, but we have to let Jello explain.
Yeah.
Because Game 7 will be home court of the Boston Celtics.
Exactly.
And they have done that previously
Yeah.
to close out in Game 7. They've played tremendously in Game 7s the playoffs. Why do you think, though, that Miami will still win on the road in the Game 7?
For me, if you're gonna talk about winning on the road, I really think na Miami has more experience. I mean, looking at their lineup and looking how there are times Eric Spoelstra outcoached si Mazzulla, and makikita mo talaga sa Boston na kulang pa eh.
Yeah.
Probably, siguro mag-iiba yan if it was Imi Udoka or Brad Stevens really propelling this team on the sidelines. Pero, I mean, I don't feel na may experience si Joe Mazzulla na to propel this team hanggang NBA Finals.
Well, okay, Jels, before we talk about...
Let's not talk about the last question first. We have a lot of
We're
time
not
to
gonna
go
talk
through.
about the last question first. So you're saying that Miami will face the Denver Nuggets in the finals. First of all, your general thoughts on this matchup. Are they the better matchup for Denver compared to Boston?
For me, yes. Kasi unang-una sa lahat, kanino mo ima-match up sa Boston si Nikola Jokic? Al Horford. I think it's a better matchup if you put Bam Adebayo against the former MVP.
How about the wings? Medyo maliit yung
I think sa wings, yes, magkakaroon ng disadvantage lang ng konti because Denver has Jamal Murray at the point. I mean, going up against a much older but experienced Kyle Lowry, and then Caleb Martin go up against MPJ and all those shooters of Denver. But again, nag-iiba talaga ang complexion ng lahat come NBA Finals eh. So, hindi mo talaga masabi ngayon, but I wanna see a Denver-Miami matchup in the finals.
I know you want to see it, but let's assume that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Even though, to be fair, yung shooting rate ni Jello Vito is actually pretty high on this show.
He has been an efficient shooter though on and off the court.
I don't like to admit it, but he has. But Jello,
Yeah.
sabihin natin that the Boston Celtics make it through. You say that they are not as good as a matchup because of especially Al Horford against Nikola Jokic, all right? But then, I'd argue that the wings and the guard situation
Offensively, especially.
kind of favors Boston more compared to Denver. Doesn't that make them a better matchup?
Well, I think at that aspect, yes. But if you're gonna look at Denver as a whole, parang na silang well-oiled machine eh, na you have Jokic facilitating everything, and your second best guy is averaging in the previous series almost close to 35 points in Jamal Murray. And Michael Porter Jr., nakikita nyo na he's become an all-around player for Denver right now. In their last game, he scored, I think he made almost a triple-double.
Yeah.
So, parang for me, Denver is a much complete team, so they can make adjustments kahit sabihin natin mas may advantage sa matchups on the wings and the guards.
Oh, before we go to the hottest of the hot takes, I just want to, pick Jello Vito's brain since he's now a strength and conditioning coach. Can you please explain the mile-high Denver Nuggets? Every time teams play there, they're more exhausted. I mean, the coaches have been saying that as well.
Yeah, for me, there's always an advantage for Denver kasi, again, high altitude. They've been training there for the entire season. And the disadvantage naman for other teams is that they need to take time to acclimatize or masanay dun sa altitude ng Denver. So, again, if you're Boston or Miami, lalo na Miami is a very tropical state, city, diba? So, it will take some kind of adjustment in the part of Miami and even Boston. So, it's up for the strength
How
coaches.
would you describe Boston?
Siyempre, mas Denver, mas malamig pa rin sa Denver. Diba? Come on. Alam ko, malamig sa Boston, but Denver pa rin. But again, it's up to the medical team and the sports performance team of both teams to find ways to match up with them.
Spoken like a true SNC, but we're not done with your hottest take. Overall, who will win the NBA championship?
That's how you end the show.
Para maiba lang, I would go with the Denver Nuggets this season.
So the number 1 seed in the West will win. Against, as you mentioned, the number 8 seed in the East.
Oh, the Miami Heat. You see, you sweep the Lakers. Look, everyone thinks you're gonna win. And you take a look at,
Yeah.
let's say, Denver against Miami. In how many games?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think,
And this is on the spot right here.
Yeah. Kasi we have time eh.
yeah, I think I would go 4-2 Denver.
Denver in six?
Denver in
Denver in
6.
six.
Now we
Ladies and
have
gentlemen, Mr. Hot Takes.
We're gonna take a look at that after,
Oh
all
yeah,
this.
100%. Yan
things
kung
happen.
tama siya, then Lasal probably has a good one. Good season up ahead.
And that's it for tonight. Again, thank you, Jello, and thank you guys for joining us. I'm Diego Doria.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paolo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.